The TFSA is an incredibly powerful account if you can use it effectively. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to use the TFSA in retirement. We're going to look at 5 key strategies to help you maximize the use of your TFSA account when it comes to retirement planning. Now, my name is Owen. I'm an advice-only financial planner, a CFP, and the founder of Advice.ca. Advice is an easy and powerful retirement planning platform that you can use independently. Now, I use Advice as a white-labeled solution to build collaborative retirement plans with my advice-only planning clients, but you can actually access the platform directly for just $9 a month. You can use the platform, you can join our community, you can have discussions with other retirees who are also building their retirement plans on Advice, and you can join our webinars that we do every 2 weeks as well. If you haven't started a retirement plan yet, I would highly encourage you to do so and to join our community and join the discussion. Now, the first strategy when it comes to TFSAs and retirement planning is that it's usually the last account that we want to draw from in retirement. And I say usually because every retirement plan is different, but usually we see the TFSA being the last account. We want to draw down from non-registered accounts, registered accounts, RSPs, LIRAs, LIFs. We want to draw from those accounts typically first. We're leaving the TFSA to last. Now, the key factor there is that we are taking advantage of that tax-free growth for a period of 20, 30, sometimes 40 years if you're retiring early. That tax-free growth over such a long period of time is incredibly valuable. Now, not only is the tax-free growth valuable, but you also get a tax-free estate payout as well. So for your family members, for charity, children, other family members, that tax-free savings account can be a great way to maximize your estate value. Now let me show you an example on the Advice platform. In this example, we've got Jennifer and Michael. They're retiring here at age 55. They've got a small pension, some non-registered, some RSP, as well as some TFSA. And you can see in their plan here, they're drawing down from the non-registered and then the registered, but they're leaving the TFSA to last. So when we take a look at their net worth, we can see that their TFSA ends up being their only source of income after about age 74, 75. So we've got all of that withdrawals and late retirement all coming from the TFSA account. It's the last account that we're drawing from in retirement within their plan. Now, the second strategy when it comes to TFSAs in retirement is that because we're typically using that account last to draw from, we want to think about having higher growth potential within that TFSA account. If we're not going to touch that TFSA for 20, 30, or 40 years after we retire, especially if we're retiring early, then we want to think about maybe having a bit more of an aggressive or an assertive asset allocation within that account. If we don't need that account, then we can let that account grow much faster, much longer. So now you need to obviously take into account your risk profile, your risk tolerance, but timeline is also something you need to take into account. And if you're not going to touch that TFSA for 20 or 30 or 40 years, then you can take a little bit more risk with that TFSA account and have more potential for tax-free growth by being a little bit more assertive or aggressive. Now let me show you what this looks like. So in Jennifer and Michael's plan, they're retiring at 55, but they're not touching the TFSA until age 74. So we've got 19 years there where we can be more aggressive with the asset allocation. We can maximize their net worth. So if we go down to advanced options, what we've done is we've set the net return for the TFSA accounts slightly higher. And we've done that by adjusting their asset allocation. Instead of being 80-20, so 80% in stock equity, 20% fixed income, we've gone to 90-10, just slightly more aggressive. But all of that additional growth over that 20 years is going to add up to over $100,000 in additional estate value for them. So this is a great way to maximize the TFSA, especially if you're not going to touch it for 20, 30, or 40 years in the beginning of retirement. Now, the third key strategy when it comes to TFSAs in retirement is that we want to continue making contributions. Unlike an RSP that needs to be converted to a RIF at some point and you have forced withdrawals, the TFSA, you can keep contributing all the way throughout retirement. There are a number of advantages to this. Of course, there's the tax-free growth. There's the estate value and passing that on tax-free to family, loved ones, and charity. But the key thing we want to do is we want to be strategic about making those contributions. That means we might want to be drawing more from an RSP RIF, transitioning that money into the tax-free savings account to take advantage of that additional contribution room every year. Now in Jennifer and Michael's plan, we're adding to the TFSA while there is a non-registered account that exists. So if we go down here to the AI strategies, we can see that one of our active strategies is maximizing new TFSA contribution room using the non-registered balance. The platform's doing this automatically for us. It's taking that non-registered balance and it's adding it to the TFSA account as long as it still exists. Now we could also do that with the RSP account, but for their plan, it didn't make sense because it pushed them into a higher tax bracket. So make sure it makes sense for your retirement plan to be pulling from a non-registered or an RSP RIF to maximize your TFSA every year. Now, the fourth way that we want to use a TFSA in retirement, the fourth strategic way, is that we want to use it for additional liquidity. So there could be things that come up in retirement, like maybe you want to give a gift to children, you want to take an around the world vacation, you want to buy an RV, maybe there's an extra expense on the home that you need to pay for. The tax-free savings account is a great way to withdraw money from your investment accounts without triggering additional tax. And the additional benefit there is that you can recontribute that withdrawal. You can get that contribution room back the following year. You can recontribute. You can fill that TFSA back up. But it really helps you manage your tax rate, your marginal tax rate, especially when you have big unexpected expenses in retirement. Now, what's great about Jennifer and Michael's plan is that because they're prioritizing the TFSA last, they've got $600,000 in there by the time they get to age 74, 75. That gives them a ton of liquidity. They've moved over their non-registered account into the TFSA. They haven't pulled from the TFSA until after the RSP RIF has been decumulated. They've got $600,000 of liquidity there when they get to age 75 and no estate tax whatsoever. It's all principal residence and TFSA accounts. This is a great strategic advantage of using that TFSA last, is that you've got a lot of liquidity towards the end of retirement. Now, the fifth and last strategy when it comes to TFSAs in retirement is that we can use them strategically to help maximize government benefits like guaranteed income supplement and old age security. Specifically, we can use the TFSA to avoid clawbacks on GIS, guaranteed income supplement, and OAS, old age security. So we can use that account very strategically because withdrawals from the tax-free savings account do not show up in your taxable income. They do not cause clawbacks on GIS or OAS. So we can use that account very strategically to maximize those benefits, avoid clawbacks. And this, especially when you're eligible for guaranteed income supplement, can mean tens of thousands of dollars of additional benefits over the course of retirement. Now, in this last example, we've got Sarah. Now, Sarah's a little bit different because Sarah is eligible for guaranteed income supplement. And here we're using this TFSA very strategically to maximize her guaranteed income supplement, both in early retirement and in late retirement. Now, we've got another case study that goes through this one in full detail, so I'll post a link in the description for this video. But here you can see we're bouncing the TFSA and RSP off each other to help maximize non-taxable government benefits like guaranteed income supplement. We're using the TFSA between 65 and 70. We're doing a fast RSP meltdown 71, 72, and then we're going back to the TFSA after that to help maximize guaranteed income supplement. Now, the TFSA is an amazing account. It's so effective, especially when it comes to retirement planning. Unlike the RSP or RIF, there are so many advantages to the TFSA that you want to make sure that you are making the most use of that in retirement and as part of your retirement plan. If you haven't yet, I would highly encourage you to create a retirement plan on advice. See how the TFSA fits into your overall strategy, into your overall retirement decumulation plan. Make sure that you're taking full advantage of the TFSA and all the benefits that it provides. Make sure that you're maximizing your estate value, making those contributions. And if it's appropriate in your plan, make sure you're taking a little bit of extra risk in that TFSA, especially if you're not going to be drawing from it for 20, 30, or 40 years. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love it if you like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. Thank you.